name is Kevin Moree. I'm a partner at McKinney, Bancroft Hughes, a law firm in the Bahamas, and my practice focuses on financial services and regulations, as well as tax and civil litigation. Well, right now, financial services on the whole is always a priority for this jurisdiction and has been for many, many years. But as it stands right now, I think two of the main focal points are focusing on compliance with international initiatives and the fintech space. So looking at compliance with international initiatives, there have been some developments. It was recently found by the OECD that the Bahamas is largely compliant with respect to Action 14 of the OECD Base Erosion and Profit Shifting Initiative, which really focuses on preventing tax evasion. So this is by all means a very good report. As always, there's some room for improvement, but when you look at this jurisdiction in comparison to others, that's a very strong showing. This is a hot topic internationally, and the Bahamas has agreed in principle with respect to this initiative. Now, that being said, there are still a number of details to be ironed out, and I think that's evidenced by the fact that even in the EU, there's still no deadline for the implementation of this global minimum corporate tax. And the Bahamas certainly hasn't agreed to any sort of timeline as to when that would be implemented, as well as various other details. I know that the financial services industry in the Bahamas is certainly hopeful the taxes will not be levied where the benefit of services are enjoyed outside the jurisdiction, which is in line with the current position in the Bahamas under our tax regime, which does not have any sort of corporate tax or income tax, but there is VAT, and VAT really is with respect to financial services based on where the services are enjoyed. And it is worth noting that there are several other jurisdictions who maintain that position with respect to taxation when the services are enjoyed outside of the jurisdiction. So that will all play out. We're hopeful that that position will remain. And I think another interesting point is that this appears to be an opportunity for the government to actually review the overall tax regime here in the Bahamas. And there is a study that's being conducted by the government now with respect to how any change with respect to a minimum global corporate tax rate in the Bahamas would impact other taxes such as business license tax. And once that study is completed, no doubt it'll be reviewed and we'll see where we go from there. Theoretically, there are developments in the sense that it's being reviewed, as I mentioned. So that's certainly happening. And I believe the government indicated by the end of this year that it's hoped that study will have been completed and analyzed, and there'll be further correspondence with that. But practically, there has been a decrease in the VAT rate, the standard VAT rate, which was previously 12%. It was recently decreased to 10%. So that's a lowering in the VAT rate. And I think another significant development, which has been happening over the past couple of years, is that more, or I shouldn't say more, but certain transactions which were previously under our stamp tax regime have been transferred over to the VAT regime. And so that is certainly a change which has resulted in players in the financial services industry having to be aware of that. Yeah, this is always a key question, and there's always 3 or 4 topics which come up consistently. And I like to begin with innovation and adaptability. This is being discussed with respect to COVID, but it's not confined to that for the Bahamas. Time and time again, this jurisdiction has come up with new financial instruments, new policies, which are really being on the cutting edge. And that's why I say that we are very innovative here, and we continue to be. And we're also adaptable, and I think that's evidenced by our response to these international initiatives, which I had spoken to earlier, and being able to pivot and make sure that we maintain international best practices while also being a very competitive international financial center. Number two, I think, is the longstanding experience and expertise in financial services that we have as a jurisdiction. This is an industry which the Bahamas has focused on for decades. We certainly have built up an expertise, and the personnel in the Bahamas and the infrastructure in the Bahamas really, in my view, sets us head and shoulders above many other jurisdictions. And it allows clients to have a sense of comfort that the professionals who are here in the Bahamas are able to provide the services that they need at a very high level. And finally, it's our location. I think that always has to be on this list. Being so close to North America, the number of direct flights which are available to major cities around the world, the fact that more and more these days, clients want to be close to their money, so to speak, close to their advisors. Indeed, the substance requirements legislation, which is being implemented in the Bahamas and many other jurisdictions in certain circumstances, requires that. And so being able to access the Bahamas easily is key. But furthermore, once you're here, it's I think everybody would agree, a beautiful destination. As I indicated, the infrastructure is good. We have a good education system where you have families moving down and there are children. We have a number of different islands which provide for a vast array of activities to be enjoyed for those that visit and live in the islands. And so I think if I were to take just a few points that really distinguish us from other financial centers, those are what I would focus on.